What are some of the things you believe about fitness? Are you right or are you wrong?
Well, I think that's a very interesting topic, Pastor, because once I met this friend of mine and she said, you know why? At that point, I wasn't really big. I was really, really small. I've always been tiny, especially in campus and all that. And they're like, you don't need to work out. You have no meat to lose. So I think some people believe that if you're slim, you don't really need to gym because after all, you're fit. Yeah, so I think many people tend to believe that because you don't have that extra weight and all that, then you're fit, which is actually very wrong because slimness or being small doesn't really mean that you're fit. I think you still need to work out those muscles. You still need to at least get something that gets all your, your body moving and all that. Yeah. So, yes.
I agree. I recall one time I was running. So I was jogging. Is it running or jogging? Anyway, the moment you run, ukichoka, you jog. You slow down.
Yeah.
Then I come across these guys and they're thinking, wait a minute. In fact, they were having a discussion and I got to overhear what they were saying. And they're like, why are you running? I mean, why are you stressing yourself and you already look good, and I could tell in their minds they're thinking, people who do these things are those who are unfit. You have a big belly or you have a big body and you're trying to shed off that extra fat that you have on you. But I think that's something we really need to be careful on and just watch out on. In fact, doctors will tell you there's something we call skinny fatty liver diseases, non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. And you'll find people who are, quite slender, but they're so unfit. Their sugar levels ziko uko, but if you're to tell them, do you think you need to go to the gym?
Like, I don't need it.
Yes.
I don't need it.
Yeah.
So I believe it should not be about the looks.
And it's interesting because it could be just something simple like we are walking up a flight of stairs.
Yes.
And it's not necessarily that the slender people are going to hack it.
I agree.
At some point they are panting and thinking,
it's
because then you're not working out the way you need to.
Yes.
So maybe even that's something that people can decide to do. Try and walk up a flight of 4 or 5 stairs.
Yes.
And how are you feeling when you get up there?
Yes.
Non-stop. At a good steady rate. And that will give you some gauge of, actually, I need to do something. Even maybe when you didn't think you needed.
Wow, that's so true. A second one I'll think about is, and I really celebrate if you're out there and you're gymming, you are keen on fitness, but there's something that happens. So especially those guys who work out in the morning or even in the evening. So in the morning, this person has just come from the gym. And I remember one time people making fun, these are the guys who are ordering mandazis and chapatis, later here, and they're eating proper. And when you ask them, why are you consuming all this? Kwanza, when they are at the gym, they have a pre-workout, shake hapo, anakuchapia shake. And a number of it is whey protein. If you look at whey protein itself, I think some people will tell you, most of the guys, nutritionists will tell you, most of them have 17% protein. The rest is carbs. So they're there consuming, sasa kitoka hapo just because they have broken their sweat, and they've taken a shower and what have you. The next thing, sasa, is to sit down and feast.
Have a full plate of everything.
Full plate of everything.
Yes.
The worst thing is, and I've seen that. just the other day I was reading an article about, sadly, how a young girl died. And these are culture influencers in the fitness world. Huge following on Instagram. But you hear their stories. Throughout the day you're working out, but in the evening, they go out partying, drinking alcohol. And unfortunately, the body at some point reaches a point where it can't take it anymore, and they end up dying. Yet this person looked the part. In fact, if you see them, they are the talk of town. But just down the line, it goes away. So I feel we need to be really careful. It doesn't mean that just because you're gymming or you're into fitness, that's a ticket now to eat whatever you
eat anything.
Exactly,
anything and everything.
I think what you're saying is very true, because just because you're working out doesn't mean that you need to eat everything. So it's about moderation again. Do your exercise, but at the same time, watch what you're eating. If you're going to exercise, let's say for a whole hour, then go sit down and have that full plate of your carbs and your everything, and then from there straight to bed, then basically there's nothing you have done. Because first of all, you've not even allowed your body to even do any digestion, you've not been active. So it's like you've basically done zero work, and you end up getting negative returns out of the exercise.
And just even to add on to what Evelyne has said, maybe someone is thinking, I'm starting this thing, I'm going to go to the gym, then they go and eat as usual or eat anything and everything, and then you're frustrated because you can't see the results. And you're thinking, what is it? I'm going to the gym maybe 5 times a week, you know, and I'm doing this thing, but there's no movement, you know, but it's because you're doing something good, but then you're undoing it with all this food then that you're eating.
I agree. And maybe just to answer somebody, at times you, after the workout, it happens to me, you feel a bit dizzy, or you feel a bit your energies are low. After a bit of kidogo research, I know I'm not an authority in this, but I realized what happens is that your electrolytes are imbalanced. Electrolytes are imbalanced, and what I've seen some people do is that if you do especially what we call HIIT, high intensity interval trainings, or cardio that, you know, really exhaust you, where you really push your body to the edge, consume an electrolyte. You know, and they're there. We'll find them in pharmacies and in shops being sold. What at times I would do personally for me, I would take a bit of some salt, and not just any salt, not the table salt. I'll do sea salt or Himalayan pink salt, just a pinch of it. Put cucumber in water. I would put some lemon, squeezed lemon juice in it, you know, and just stir it. Just to help with electrolytes, potassium, sodium, because when you sweat a lot, you lose a lot of sodium. So if you affect that imbalance in your body, you begin feeling dizzy or fatigued. You can't move, and it helps. It helps. I know there are many videos out there. In fact, people who say that there are quite some benefits when people work out in a fasted state. You know, I've read stories about marathoners who have realized that when they cut down on the frequency of the meals, they are able to push their bodies further. Why? Because their bodies are now fat oriented. You know, they're burning fat, they're not burning sugar. So they don't depend on us on food. That reminds me of the times when we'd be having PE in school. Ukikimbia umemaliza race hivi, you know? Glucose. That was the motivation.
Then you say, can I have more?
Can I have more? You know? So unalamba, alafu uko hapo tena unakimbia. You know, but it's actually possible, and you can do more research on that end that is actually beneficial, and it gives you more mileage when it comes to exercising in a fasted state. But definitely taking fluids and water and the electrolytes that I mentioned. What are the myths?
I think another one is people think that you only work out when you have time. So these guys who go to the gym, watu wako na time.
Time wasters.
You know, they don't have other many things to do. You know, I think that's one big one. But it's, where are you? What goals do you want to achieve? And then you prioritize it.
I agree.
You know, you prioritize it. We all don't have time. We could be doing something else. But because it's important, then you're like, yes, I think we've got to do this. So make time.
Yes, make time.
Yes, it will not come.
Yep.
Yep,
I agree.
I like what Kathy has said, because I think somebody just said, you know, Evelyne, you're going to work out. You know, Evelyne doesn't have anybody to go and entertain at home, so that's why she has to really fill up her time. So that's why she has to go and work out. So I think those are some of the things people think you work out because you don't have anything else to do. You don't have probably a husband to go and cook for, or a wife to talk to and all that, or children. And I think that's really a myth, because working out doesn't have to be because you have nothing else to do.
Yes.
It should actually be like a personal discipline, a way of life.
I agree. And me, I think it's an excellent substitution, that if you have nothing to do, work out. I think for me, I'll not even have a problem with that. If somebody said, I don't have anything to do, I've decided to work out. I mean, that is the best, that's one of the best alternatives and choices you can actually
have.
You can actually have. But at the end of the day, I think we need to realize the same passion you have. Once aside this festive season, you know, some of us, once December reaches. In fact, 1st of December, everything comes to a standstill.
We hang our boots.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
Guys have slowed down. But there are 2 sisters here. They are really in that world, and they'll tell you, CITAM participants could drop off, one by one. So that the strong ones watapotea. 10th of December, gone, missing, until New Year's resolution. So every January is a time to restart.
And it's usually towards end of January, not even start. Yes, it's not.
So some are still eating.
Yeah, they're still eating, or thinking, hey, now we've eaten, we don't have any more money. Now we are thinking of, there is school fees, there is what. Okay, we'll come back to exercise.
And we'll be doing a video on
recovery,
that.
Yes.
On how to recover or how to come back later. Just keep on following this space. So on that specific bit, I think for me the same passion you have, ya kukula hiyo nyama choma, that same passion you have, but now it's my time to feast. I think the gym and just observing your fitness, you need to have the same kind of passion and the same kind of zeal. I think for me, the way I'm keen about eating, I tell myself, by the way, eating should be a way of you rewarding your body. After saying, at least at the end of the day, I did something to put my body to work. Very, very important. You have to be intentional. Health is created. You don't just get it. It's created.
And I think maybe one that we can also think about is, we talked about, like, you can say just because I'm young, I don't need to work out. So I'm young, I'm still under 20, or I'm in my 20s, early 20s. Working out is for those people who are feeling like they really have to, they are growing old, they really have to fight it and all that. And really, workout is for everybody.
Wow.
You'll be shocked. The other day, I was, actually just 2 weeks ago, I was with a colleague of mine. She's 25. I'm over 40. And so it's a funny story anyway, because we went for this trip with children, and where we went to this company or factory, they have these toilets, the ones that are flashable, but then you have to squat. And so this lady, she's a Mzungu, she went there and she came back and she said, I just can't. I can't. She said, I can't. Okay, first she said, I've never seen this where I come from. She's just new to Kenya. Then secondly, she was like, I can't squat.
Wow.
So you should have seen me there trying to show her how to squat. It's like, how do you do that? How do you even squat? And of course, I showed her, like, okay, we'll practice slowly. She was even shocked I can do push-ups,
Wow.
Yeah, so I think it's not about how old you are. It's about the effort you put in and the consistency.
I totally agree.
And the benefits that come from starting when you're younger,
Very true.
Yeah.
I think some of these lifestyle diseases that are, non-communicable diseases that you're seeing out here, if you're to do research, doctors will tell you, it doesn't just happen. You don't just fall sick. You don't walk into the hospital and they say, oh, you're diabetic, or you have high blood sugars or high blood pressure, hypertensive. It takes years. Some of them take 10 years. When you, I think it's the issue of dementia. People take a whole 15 years. It can even take 20 years. So it begins very, very far. And I think if you begin early, because our bodies were created to move. I know we, in the age we're living in, people are trying to come up with solutions to make ourselves comfortable. As you can see,
convenience.
Yes, we are comfortable. We are, hapa my friend tuko sawa. There's some cushion. We are feeling nice, And that's all about life. But the truth of the matter is, if you don't move, then we're in trouble. So please begin early. Don't wait until, suddenly I had a friend and he said, Mimi, until the doctor will tell me it is time, that is when I will apply. And I was like, oh my goodness. Let's not wait until you get that red alarm and you're told it's time to move, and that's when now you see somebody saying it now, and you can tell them, you can see those guys, you can look at them in the street, unaona huyu ameambiwa na daktari,
start moving,
don't wait until you reach that point. Start now.
Yes. And I think as you've even as we're talking about that, starting now and all that, I was just having a conversation with a colleague the other day, and she was telling me, I'm waiting, I really have to move from where I'm staying. I asked her why. He said, at least now where you are now, you can be able to go for a jog in the neighborhood and everything. And I said, but where I am, it's not that, I don't live in Runda. I'm in Eastlands. I just, like, where do you go jogging? I said, I just jog along the road. There's a bicycle walk, there's everything. Yeah. And she said, but where I live, I can't. I said, no, you can still get out of your house. If you want to go for a jog, you'll manage to do your jog. If you want to go up, like Kathy said, go up and down the stairs if you're in an apartment. Take advantage of the facilities that are like near where you are. There are so many, like if it's primary schools around, public ones, there's a field. You know, you can go do your thing there and create some space, push chairs, stack them on top of each other and just do something, but move, you know. Yeah, don't create, because I think we have too many excuses. Yeah, you say, I don't have space in my house, I can't be able to do this. You can even do wall push-ups. The wall is there, you know. Yeah, you can take a rope and just keep outside there. There's so much you can be able to do. I think what we have is too many excuses for not wanting to get active.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. And guys, I think we need to drop those excuses, whether it's, you know, oh, where I live is not conducive or suitable, or, you know, I can't afford gym membership. Some of us and a number of us here do it at home. You know, as you've heard, we utilize the available facilities around us. No excuse whatsoever. And for me, I feel that it's high time you began asking yourself, what is it I need to do? Why don't you go ahead and share some of those myths that you feel we've not covered here, and we will actually have this conversation, you know, in the comment section, whichever platform you are watching us from. But in case, you know, you fall in either of those categories, as they say, the best time to plant trees is
now.
So you can begin now. You can actually start now. Start slow. And I hope in one of the videos, and we did in the past, and we are hoping to do that also in the future, how do you start? You know, just start. Is it walk? You can decide to walk, go up the stairs, but you have to do something. Make sure you move. God created you to move.
Exactly.
Amen. I know you'll be wondering, have we mentioned God? You are created to move. That's why when you look at babies, they want to be in motion. You know, they want to jump. You know, when they are born, and you can see them trying to throw themselves up.
Throw the hands.
So please, be on the move, and let's just rise above those myths out there. God bless you. Goodbye for me.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.